What's going on there, guys? Good evening. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Monday night, September 18th, 2023, 9:20 p.m. Got a earthquake coming in here to the California area. I did see this showing up on the seismograph stations just coming in. Mainly pretty strong there in the Parkfield area, also Dinsmore, and even down around San Diego, picking up this moderate earthquake. For now, it looks like this is going to be a 4.5. Being reported here just outside of the Wesley area. This is on, hard to say which fault system this is on, but it looks like there's been some prior earthquake activity throughout the day today here in a little swarm. Again, just outside Patterson, close to the Diablo range. This is kind of interesting here. And this so far, this 4.4 coming in is the largest of this earthquake activity. I'm uncertain as to the specific magnitudes out here that's capable along this area of the fault, but of course, like any other faults out here in California, there's quite a few that we don't know about, I'm sure. So this would be interesting to look and see exactly where this is taking place at. I don't think the USGS has mentioned anything about this earthquake yet. It has been reviewed though, and it looks like it was felt over a broad area. Now this is, hold on a second here. Yeah, this is the one at 0413. So this is going to be 04, roughly 13 right here. That's a pretty quick review. How'd they review it that quick? It just came in. Goodness. And it was felt, looks like over areas south of the bay around Fremont, San Jose, maybe even over to Santa Cruz for that 4.4. Again, I'm not for sure if it's on the Greenville fault or maybe a little separate fault out here. But either way, that's a pretty good swarm of activity, it looks like. That could be leading to potentially something bigger in that area. Missy Mimi's just sent me the info on this. It looks like it's on the Great Valley Fault, which runs up through the west side of the Sacramento Valley and also down here as well. The Great Valley Fault, very close to the Great Valley Fault thrust area. But looking at the focal mechanisms here, it looks like this, kind of hard to tell if this is, there's a little bit of dip going on here, so that could be associated with that fault system. Either way, that's some interesting movement going on out here off of the plate boundary. This could be a good sign here that things are pretty tense out here across this plate boundary, the San Andreas Fault, so we'll continue to watch that. Quite the signature, again, quite the signature coming in just a few minutes ago there to the region around Wesley area. And again, we're looking at total tally of 6 earthquakes. We did see a 4.0 earlier this evening, a couple hours ago, and things are building. I would definitely be on guard out here across the California area for now at some interesting movement. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the area. See if we got anything kicking up down here. 4.9 in the Vanuatu region. Also some clustering going on here around Japan. 6.3 earlier this morning in the East China Sea region. But it looks like we've seen a couple other earthquakes back building here along the Filipino plate. Pretty deep 4.1, 296 kilometers deep there. Goodness, some crazy activity. A little bit of movement up here around Mount St. Helens as well. A little clustering going on once again. This has just been an ongoing event here. A little bit of activity here across Mount Rainier as well. There's really nothing that anyone's chatted about as far as Mount St. Helens goes, as far as the activity goes. They say it's basically, normal background level activity. I mean, double check the seismograph stations here around Mount St. Helens and see what we have around the area. Most of the activity has been up at the crater area, right at the summit region. And see what this station looks like. There's still definitely some activity kicking up here, folks, across the Mount St. Helens area. I'm not really seeing a major increase, but it's been somewhat consistent with these little earthquakes popping up here. All right, let's move on here real quick. Just going to make this a quick update. We are looking at some increasing auroras out there. If you're out there in the northern tier states, it looks like you guys have a good chance around the sub-aurora area right here, dipping down into, well, potentially northern Oregon and Wyoming, maybe Colorado as well. Wisconsin and other areas here across, looks like maybe Maine area as well, getting in on some of that activity. If you look at the extreme northern hemisphere, you'll be able to see those lights out there. So get outside. Now's a good time to do it. The KP index is somewhat elevated, of course, as you can see, stretching up into the G2 class storming here throughout the last few hours. And that was forecasted. We're still looking at that continuing throughout the evening. We'll watch that and keep an eye on things. This September 10th, I think it's supposed to be September 18th there, Kevin. A little bit of solar flaring coming in too as we speak. Looks like maybe this bright side region over here across the eastern limb. See a little sparking going on there with that active region there on the sun. We'll continue to watch that from a couple new sunspots over here that are looking fairly dynamic and organized, and they're growing quite complex here amongst this sunspot core, and that's going to be traveling here in the Earth-directed view, and it's pretty much bullseye shot. It's lined up perfectly here across the Earth-Sun plane. Once it gets into position here, it will be, and with this growing pretty rapidly, I wouldn't doubt if we see a very strong Earth-directed flare in the coming days. 95% chance for a C flare, M flare at 20, X flare around 1%, and again, keep an eye out here for the California region. Things are definitely getting quite active. I don't recall the last time I've seen any movement specifically down here. Again, these are some older faults that sit off here off of the plate boundary. Let me give a quick glance here at the catalog book. We're just going to pull up 5.5 and above for this specific area. We're going to go back just since records have been kept, and we're going to draw a little area here on the map, not out in the Pacific, but over here around our area of interest, just outside the it's this mountain range area right here. Right, pretty certain it is. All right, let's use this region here real quick, see what we got. 5.5 and above. Yeah, where we at? There we are. Looks like I'm gonna pull up this map once again, see specifically. Just outside of Patterson, right across from San Jose here. Looks like not a whole lot. Looks like maybe around the Burnt Hills area. It's been a 5.7 back in 1986 within this region, and that was prior to the 1989 earthquake there in the San Francisco region. 1858, that one. So we definitely do have some, some earthquake activity historically around this region. Look at over here around Tracy, 6.0, 1866. 1881. So yeah, we're coming up well over 100 years or so, 100 years plus, for some large-scale movement that has taken place here in this area. And again, Missy Mimi says it's on the Great Valley Fault Thrust, so that's going to be centered just over here, slightly off the mountain range. So we'll continue to watch that, and of course report back on it if anything changes here. It's just quite a bit of earthquake activity, and doesn't look like any main shake, any main quake. The 4.0, you could say that was a main quake until the 4.4 hit. So these are all potentially could be foreshocks to something bigger coming up in this area. So just a heads up, probably issue an earthquake watch out here just for this elevated movement. Really hasn't been a main quake, and it's in an odd area, but in a location that can see some larger scale movement. And historically, it's been a long time since we've had any larger scale activity here, specifically within this region, and obviously that's a telltale sign of some stress building up out here across that plate boundary. All right, folks, looks like maybe something down here as well. 2.3 coming in about 9 o'clock or so. Just be safe out there, have an earthquake plan, and we will catch you guys back here a little bit later tomorrow. If you guys do get a chance to see the auroras, lucky you. Pretty awesome. If you feel like sharing those pictures, if you get some good pictures, send them along to me so I can check them out, and we'll put them up on the next video if you like, if you give us permission. There at the email is earthmastermail@gmail.com. We'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.